Welcome to the Loveland Report and Loner Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate for over 32 years on the air here, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loner Ranger. We're going to be talking today about home prices are up, investment properties. How do you get your first one? We're going to talk about good offers. What's your real estate plan? How's writing that offer and how you do that, or a seller, when you get an offer, how do you respond to it? We'll dig a little bit into that. And Bruce, what do you have?
I want to talk about what happened with interest rates. You had the Fed meeting this week. We have all kinds of indexes coming out. Where are rates right now? What are the opportunities? Who's buying? What's available in the market? How do you negotiate a transaction? Update on Hometown Heroes and other down payment assistance programs. But I really want to drill into some tactics on how you can win when buying real estate in this market, because it is a little different market and you have to navigate it a little bit differently. So I want to cover a lot of that with us today.
All right. I just want to say I got great news. What's funny is the rest of the country, Bruce, I get national. You got to remember, when I talk about stats, am I talking about Central Florida or the nation? Nationwide, home prices are up like 0.9% year over year, which is not bad with the crummy interest rates we've had for a couple of years.
They're not crummy. They're just higher than people like.
Yeah, that's what we always have dreams. Now we'd be happy for 599, wouldn't we? What's interesting here, Bruce, at no point did the national market over the past couple of years experience price declines.
How about that?
No declines. So all these people waiting for the bottom and waiting for, if you hear anybody saying they're waiting on the market to crash, you just need to get a house.
There's no possible way that we're going to see the market crash. And here's what I tell people. Matter of fact, I think most people have gone away from that. I think that they came up with it after COVID, but I don't think I'm hearing as many people saying there's going to be a market crash. But here's all you have to ask yourself. Are we experiencing inflation right now? What's your answer? Of course we are. We're absolutely experiencing inflation. So how can you lower prices when prices go up? It doesn't work that way, folks. You're not going to get a reduction in price. Even builders, the materials going up, everything's still going up for these builders, and they're plugging along. So you can't expect to see a market crash when you also have inflation. Now, we had deflation. Maybe we could see something like that, but that's not going to happen in this market.
The Florida stats too. Here's what's interesting, Bruce. Florida's housing market, we run ahead. We're selling more as a percentage. We're selling more homes. We have less listings, and it's just in our months, like the rest of the nation right now, their months of inventory is growing, and Florida is shrinking slowly.
We don't have the peaks and valleys that other places have. So we don't, like, when I look at other markets that are similar, like Houston, San Antonio, very similar markets to ours, but they have more peaks and valleys than we do. So they'll rally like crazy, and then all of a sudden they're dead. Right now, we are slow, but we're far from dead, right? But we see things slowing down. I see a little bit less people jumping into the market right now. But however, the people that are getting in the market right now, I find are better qualified. I don't know why that is, because sometimes we'll get it in the market shifts and I'm like getting, oh my God, there's so many people calling about a mortgage, but their credit is terrible. They have no money to put down. And now I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing more qualified people jumping in the market. My builders are doing well too. I've got a builder called Crown Builders that's building out there around Palm Bay, and they are crushing it right now. And they're getting ready to buy some lots from a couple of these big builders to infill in some of their communities. So if you're looking for new construction, call Cleve, call me. You should never go out shopping on your own to new construction without real estate representation. And I don't think the average person understands that, Cleve. Explain to me, because I already know, explain to our listeners why it's important that you have real estate representation when looking at a builder transaction.
I think that sales rep for the builder knows everything about their product, but they don't know you and what you want. And what's funny is you walk in there and they have homes from 500 to 800 and they show you everything. I know my buyer is good to 550, needs this much, needs single story, would like multi-generational living, and things like that. And I know that I can sharpen the focus on that. There is a little bit of room for negotiation. Sometimes they won't come off their prices, but they might get you might get something off of a lot premium if you want that special view or the oversized lot. Depends on where the builder is, who they are, things like that. But you definitely want representation on that, because also setting you up for resale.
Yeah,
I see some trends in
absolutely.
new construction. It started
But I
happening.
see even negotiating the deal, I see people that go in without real estate agents versus having a real estate agent. Now, not all real estate agents will even negotiate. That's why I love working with you. You literally negotiate the deal, where I see a lot of other agents go, the seller said this, so that must be just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it is. That's
Yep.
not negotiation.
Yep.
But I have a client right now that went to one of our builders that we've worked with. I'm not promoting them right now because I want to try to get them to get a little bit more dialed in on using our services. I sent a client, they had gone over to DR Horton. They were looking at a particular community. I wanted them to look at this next community. I got them over there. They had a realtor. We negotiated the deal last weekend, and the house didn't come with a washer and dryer and a refrigerator. And I said to the realtor, I said, at least go back and get that stuff for them. So they did. We got closing costs paid, and it worked out perfectly. So we're under contract to build. And this was a client that was originally going to go to one builder, loved the home. He was going to write a contract, but until I got him off of that and to see other options, and then he went, wow, I'm really glad I did that, Bruce.
Yeah.
Went,
You want to shop around. And if you're a $500,000 buyer, you want to know what 525 looks like. You want to know what new construction is. It's funny. We had somebody cash offer and looking at a house, and we were looking up to 500. And I said, let's just check what's on the market up to 530. And there was 2 homes that were really nice. Both of them been at the same price for 90 days.
Isn't that something?
And so we're writing an offer on one of those and talking to the listing agent. She's, I'll make this work. I'll make this work. Now, we didn't go anywhere near their 530 list price, but they've been sitting for so long. And that's what a good agent will help you with.
Yeah. The idea is get off the fence and go. If you're thinking about buying something, then you should. I want to talk about how the mortgage market is improving and should you act now. So I want to give a quick update on mortgages. So mortgage rates continue to fluctuate, but remain low compared to last year, right? They're much lower than they were last year. Inflation is moderate, but it is up a little bit. Oil prices they're up and down. One day they're $74, next day they're $94. So that's been it's been causing the market to be a little unsettling right now. I think if we can get that under control, we're going to be in better shape. Now, I heard that we're going to start bombing Iran again because we ceasefired on them, and then they're still sending drones and missiles at ships all over the place. So that could cause a little bit of an upset. If oil prices do drop, it's going to help interest rates. If we get inflation down a little bit, it's going to help interest rates. But right now, we are sitting in a place where it is very difficult to tell what direction things are going in. The average interest rate on a 30-year fixed runs right around 6.6. I think it was 6.58 this morning. So right around 6.6, depending on your credit score, how much money you're putting down, depends on where you fall in that interest rate. FHA, VA tend to be a little bit lower. So there are ways to get your interest rate down. And I believe in negotiating closing costs over reduction in price helps that. I've got a client right now. He's buying a $2.5 million house. He goes, how would you negotiate the deal? I said, I'd pay him $2.5 million, wait for the appraisal, come back in, but I'd get $100,000 in closing costs paid. He says $100,000 in closing costs paid. I said, now let me show you what that does for you, because you're getting the seller to pay it. And I'm going to save you about $30,000 from refinancing a $2.5 million deal. Yeah. It's not cheap to do those, right? Yeah. So he goes, okay. So and it ends up appraising for over appraised value. He got the $100,000. I bought his rate down to 5.65%. Okay. So he's way under market.
That's the difference between you and the teller at Wells Fargo, who's just got promoted to take mortgage apps.
Absolutely. And here, this was strategy. Now, this doesn't work for everyone, and everyone's a little different. Sometimes you shouldn't buy it down that much, but he's going to keep this house for at least 10 years. Yeah. And the chances are that I won't ever have to refi him. I don't have to refi him at 5.65. Yeah. So I saved him money later on that the seller funded. Yeah. So that's how you do it, folks. But if you don't have somebody that knows how to navigate that, 407-250-9144 for the loan arranger, 407-250-9144, or we bring you home That's
Cleve Loveland Properties. You want to make a real estate plan to buy, sell, or become a landlord? Call me 407-352-8118. Bruce, I was speaking at a financial planning function last night, which I do a lot of. Financial planners love me because I'll help people on the real estate side, and I'm not about just selling people houses or getting them to buy houses, getting them to try and flip homes or whatever it is. I want them to build a big, massive, giant portfolio, and I want a real estate to be part of that. But it's funny. I had a groupie.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to go. I got a follower. She's asking about you, asking about me. A sweet lady actually does need help. She's got a rental property, and I was talking to her a little about it. And her rent way below market. Doesn't like. She's got a property manager, which oh no, they've been the same rent for 5 years. They said not to raise it, and I'm like, red flag. So talking to them, but we really appreciate all you listening. You can always call me. It's free to talk to me about advice on these things. And Bruce, speaking of our stats, Central Florida. This is the Central Florida market. Number of active listings down 15% from 1 year ago.
Okay.
New listings, barely, it's flat. So number of new listings. Pending sales up 8% over last year.
Okay.
Listings sold up 9%. Days on the market down to 70 days. Total.
Well, that's a great improvement.
Yeah. Average sales price up 5% from last year. Months of inventory 4.2.
So
last year,
can
5.
values only be up less than 1%, but sales prices are up 8 to 9%? How does that work?
That was nationwide. That stat I gave.
Okay,
earlier.
I got you.
I just take these stats and spew them out.
I'd be curious to know, because if your prices are up 8 to 9% from last year, that shows that things are really moving in the right direction. And with inventory down, that tells buyers, you better get your act together and get in, because once that starts to hit, it's going to get even better. And if we have any reduction in interest rates, it's going to be much harder to negotiate your transactions. You can't, if you've got 10 offers on a house, let's say you're the listing agent. Okay. If you've got 10 offers on a house, you don't really need to negotiate much for that, right? Because you got all these offers. You're basically going, give me your highest and best.
Yeah, there's
buddy.
a process, but there's also, it's funny because that hasn't happened in a while. I've had 4 offers in the past year.
Even if you have 3 to 4 at a time.
There's a process on that, but there is negotiations, because you want to know, you're looking at financing, you're looking at closing date, you're looking at the best terms you can possibly get for the seller. Does the seller want to click close, or would it help them to close and stay in the house for 2 weeks as a rent-free tenant? All these things come into play. Price doesn't do any good if you go way over list price and they still have a financing. Can they waive the appraisal?
Correct.
Things like that.
But for a buyer on the other side of the fence. Now, if I got a buyer and there's 4 offers coming in on that, you better plan on paying full, if not over ask price when it comes to those multiple offer situations.
In the past, bless your little heart realtor period we've had over the past couple of years with all these untrained agents out there with no sales managers and no bosses and no sales training. When I tell people there's multiple offers, about 2/3 of them go dark. They don't even answer me, or they don't change their offer. They say, no, we're going to stay where we're at. And then the smart ones go higher. So they go a little above list price or improve their offer some. But anything you need, call me 407-352-8118.
Yeah, or call the Loan Arranger. I can help you with a purchase, refinance, new construction, renovation loan, hook you up with the builders, equity lines, reverse mortgages, you name it. The Loan Arranger's got it. And I'm a direct lender. I'm in all 50 states, and I'm here to help you. 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or WeBringYouHome.com. Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show. We got more to talk about the market, how to properly negotiate a transaction, and what programs are literally crushing it out there. Don't go away.